In the praise of Sri Adi Shankara, it is said that he is the one who has done good to the world. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Tava Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram. He is the very embodiment of all the wisdom contained in our Shrutis, Smritis and Puranas. And this Bhagavad Pada is to be worshipped again and again because he does good to the world. Sham karoti iti Shankaraha. The one who does good to the world, Sham, who brings peace to the world, harmony to the world. Such a person is called Shankara. So Bhagavad Pada Adi Shankaracharya has truly done good to the world. Why? Because he has imparted the wisdom of the greatest scriptures in a more palatable, easy to understand way, and also how to use practically for one's spiritual upliftment. If our country has to count its blessings, I think one of the greatest blessings that has come our way as a country is Bhagavan Sri Adi Shankaracharya, who following his Guru's command at a tender age of 16 had finished writing commentaries on most of the scriptures that his Guru had given him to do, Govinda Bhagavad Pada. And then he went around the country preaching this idea of Advaita Siddhanta, that there are no two, there is only one, Advaita, Advaita. And at the same time, he has also given so many stotrams, stutis, as Keshavji was mentioning, so that we are able to also worship Saguna Brahma. If you are unable to comprehend the Nirguna Brahma, Saguna Brahma is also okay to comprehend and pray to. And Sagunopasana will lead to ultimately that Nirgunopasana and that Anubhava, Atma Sakshatkara. That is Adi Shankaracharya's compassion to do this for everyone. And today's topic on Soundarya Lahari, which is one of the most poetic compositions of Sri Adi Shankaracharya. And I would request everyone to make efforts to get a copy and read. And Mr. Keshav Prasad ji has been an ardent Upasaka of Sri Vidya, Tripura Sundari, and he has been following this path for a long, long time. And this is why he can speak about it with so much of devotion and not academically alone. And I told him when he came here, leave everything aside, just talk about the compassion of that mother, because the most important aspect of the mother or motherhood is her compassion on her child. Ahetuka daya sindhu, without any conditions. And that is how he was mentioning about the sentence, Bhavanitvam, that oneness with Bhavani, oneness with yourself. Though the devotee is not asking exactly that, he's asking, oh Devi, Bhavani, you please look at me with a compassionate glance, because that is enough for me. If your one glance falls on me, I shall be redeemed. That is the power of your compassion. But before he finishes the sentence, Bhagavati gives him Sayujyam or Bhavanitvam, which is oneness with herself. And he also said, this is a Mahavakya, very nicely interpreted. Mahavakya, sir, Jiva Brahma Aika Vakyavati Mahavakyam. That which equates Jiva and Brahma, that is a Mahavakya, like Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, and all that you know about. Bhavanitvam is a Aikavakyam from Soundarya Lahari, is how he has interpreted, which is a very nice way of saying it. From there starts the moksha aspect of one's purushartha, and then it continues from there. As I said, it is a very comprehensive scripture. Talks about all aspects from creation to sustenance, destruction, purusharthas, the Shiva Shakti's phenomena, and it goes on with such beautiful description of the mother. So when you love somebody, you automatically end up glorifying them, describing their beauty, describing their qualities, and that's what Adi Shankaracharya does. So another time I have told him that come with a musician and do both singing of the verses and then explanation of the verses and interpretation for students. So that would be a good way of learning Soundarya Lahari. He has been doing this for several years as a sadhana, and that is very fortunate of all of you to have him here today to at least open and introduce this idea of Soundarya Lahari to all of us here. So many blessings to him for this seva and this auspicious Navaratri occasion. And may the goddess bless him always with her not just Sannidhi but Sayujyam. With this greetings and with these best wishes, I convey my blessings to him. Navaratri is special because this is the only festival, or this is one of those special festivals where we worship the very Parabrahma Tattvam as Mother Goddess. Yesterday we heard what is Shiva, what is Shakti, the Supreme Consciousness, which does not do anything, the Supreme Witness Consciousness, if I can say so. That is Parabrahma, Param Shiva, and the energy manifestation of that is Paramashakti, and she manifests everything. That energy manifests as all the matter, and therefore the matter is permeated with energy, but energy itself is based on that Supreme Consciousness, which is the substratum. That is the Advaita Siddhanta, which is also seen in Soundarya, Lahari, and so many other Upanishads of our heritage. And yesterday I told that Brahman, the idea of Brahman is not Brahma. Brahma, the creator, the sustainer is Vishnu, and that Shiva, the destroyer, is again not the Parama Shiva we are talking about. This Shiva is the one who is in charge of the mainly Rudra. But the ultimate principle of auspiciousness, the beginningless, endless aspect of divinity, is represented as Paramashiva. And that is, again, in our scriptures you will find many times, interusage of terms, and that can sometimes put you into confusion. But please pay some attention and delve deep into what it's symbolizing and what is it indicating. And that is how you will be able to interpret and understand the scriptures correctly. So we talked about that Brahman as the ultimate substratum. And if you go to Upanishads, especially Aitareya Upanishad, you will see how the creation came into existence. In the beginning there was nothing, that's what it says. It alone was. And then that presence, that consciousness, which had no form, no name, no attributes, it wanted to create. And that is how elements came into existence. Scientists will simply call it as a Big Bang happened, and then everything came into existence. And gases interacted with each other, matter formed, matters flew in all directions, and then galaxies and universes formed. And in each of these universes there were planets and stars. And then in one of those universes, in one of those galaxies and the solar system of ours, our star being sun, and Earth being the planet where life happened. And all these creation, the story of creation will be told by the scientists in this way. But our Upanishads put it very simply, and it's very interesting to read Aitareya Upanishad. I will request our Prakashana team to slowly start releasing all the Upanishad talks which happened during the lockdown time of COVID. And that was a wonderful time. Not that we should have it again that way, but if we have time where we can withdraw from everything else and meditate on these scriptures, I think that is once in a century kind of an opportunity we got, and we studied all the Upanishads, many scriptures, and that is the time when Paravidya was introduced. And now a lot of our students understand what these terms are. Otherwise, it's very difficult for youngsters to understand because these are not discussed at all at homes and at schools. But our fortune, you see, that we are able to listen to speakers like these. We are able to discuss these ideas of what is all this about, what is this universe about. And this is the idea. He said that Paramashakti, she became Brahmanda, she became the entire universe. It means entire universe is permeated by the same energy which is nothing but the Mother Goddess. And in her purest state, she is nothing but Supreme Consciousness only. Because from that consciousness came the first manifestation of energy. Energy became matter, and all the universe came into existence. That is how it has been described. I was walking there, and one girl was holding a painting of two birds on the tree. For those who are new, this story comes from the Mundaka Upanishad. It's one of the Upanishads. And Upanishads are the philosophical part of our Vedas. Vedas are our most ancient scriptures. And from there are many aspects of Vedas. Agama Shastras are there after Vedas. And during Vedas, inside Vedas, Karma Kandas are there, Upasana Kandas, Brahmana, Aranyaka, all these other. The Upanishad part of the Vedas is the most beautiful philosophical part of the Vedas. And that part is the most beautiful which we must study. And these Upanishads actually tell us the ultimate truth, which is nothing but that Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha, that we are all divine. No other scripture, no other religion of any other part of the world says that you are none but, or you are none other than divine. Everybody puts us as you are different from divine. Even in India there are philosophies of Dvaita, Vishishtadvaita. But Advaita philosophy that Adi Shankaracharya promoted at that point of time, it destroyed all the conditions of the previous times where people were segregated into various classes because they were not supposed to be divine. But once you are divine, everything is divine. Gold itself can become a bangle, can become a chain, can become a ring. But everything is gold. Shapes and forms are different. But the gold, the underlying principle of gold is one and the same. And when you melt the bangle, it can become a ring. When you melt the ring, it can become a chain. So forms and names and shapes change, whereas the gold remains the same. It permeates every aspect of every ornament made out of it. Likewise, the whole universe is permeated by the same supreme consciousness. Therefore, you may call it a ring, I will call it gold. You may call it chain, I will call it gold. You may call it a bangle, I will call it gold, because it is made of gold. Yes, its functionality is different. Ring has to be worn in the finger, bangle has to be worn in your hand, and chain has to be worn in the neck. But the substance with which it is made is one and the same. That is the idea of Advaita, that we are all made of the same supreme consciousness. Forms and names are different. Our matter is different. How some people are tall, some people are short, somebody's skin is bright, somebody's is dark, somebody is a woman, somebody is man. All these are differences in the matter part of it, the biology part of it. Go a little deeper, we all are full of energy, that energy which permeates every cell of our body and makes us work, think, do everything. That energy is one and the same. But even if you go a little deeper than that, one may say I have more energy, somebody, old man will say I have less energy, somebody will say I have different kind of energy. Some people are poetic, creative, some people are sportsmen, some people are Vedic Pandits, so their energies are being used in different ways. So it may appear that that energy is different, this energy is different. But again, you go one more level deeper, one supreme consciousness that energizes everything, that animates everything is one and the same. Like the electricity which is one and the same, whether it is bulb, fan, light, mic, whatever. The usages are different because it's interaction with various equipments. Like that, ornaments are different, but the gold with which it is made is one and the same. So also our bodies are different, our minds are different, our habits and our likes and dislikes are different, our abilities and our capacities are different, but that supreme consciousness which is the reason why we exist is one and the same. This is the idea of Advaita. We understand it theoretically. We do not experience it, therefore we don't believe in it. See, unfortunately, whatever is seen is what is believed. Seeing is believing, they say. But in spirituality, it's the other way around. You have to believe what you don't see also. Because all the things that are to be measured by senses alone are considered as real or true. But there are so many things that cannot be weighed, measured in tape or weighed in kgs, like mother's love. Can mother's love be measured? You can tell me my mother has 1 meter long love for me, or half a kg love for me today. Mother's food can be eaten, it can be half a kg. But mother's love is not having any shape, form, size, weight, measures. So do you mean to say mother's love does not exist? If you say it exists, then I say, prove it to me. Tell me how many kgs, meters long their mother's love is. You have no answers to that. Like there are things that exist without certain physical measurements. And still they exist. Science only goes by what is seen, empirical evidence. But spirituality goes by anubhava, experience. I experience my mother's love. Therefore I know it exists. I cannot make you experience my mother's love. That's not possible for me. My mother must have love for you also. Then you will experience my mother's love. How will I make you experience otherwise? But does that mean that my mother's love does not exist for me? No, it is not true. Likewise, this consciousness exists in all. In fact, that is the very reason why we exist. When somebody denies the existence of God, it is like somebody using his tongue to say that I do not have a tongue. This is what Shankaracharya says. It's almost like saying, I do not exist. By existing, you are saying this. This is equal to saying, God does not exist. That is how he puts it. So the existence of God is an experiential reality. It's not an experimental phenomenon. You cannot experiment with it. You can only experience it. Upanishad or the rishis of the Upanishad say, na tatra mano gacchati, vag gacchati, no manaha, chakshur gacchati, vag gacchati, no manaha. Na vidmo na vijanimo yathaitad anushishyat. Their eyes don't go there, ears don't go there, mind cannot comprehend that. I do not know. Na vidmo na vijanimo. I do not know how to explain to you this. Yatha etad anushishyad. How do I teach it to you? I do not know, the Rishi says. Because it's an experience, it's like my mother's love. I cannot explain to you. I cannot measure it and show you. I cannot show you in a physical way. Like that, this Brahman's existence cannot be shown in a physical, empirical way. But the very fact that your mother comes running the moment you say, Amma, even if before you finish your sentence that I am hungry, she's already with the plate of food there with you in front of you. The Amma word is enough for her because she has love for you. That's how you know my mother loves you. That's how you know God exists, because you exist. Without God, you cannot exist. How do you know the bulb is having electricity? Because it is glowing. How do you know this fan is having electricity? Because it is running. How do you know this mic has electricity? Because it is amplifying. Likewise, the very idea that I am seeing, eating, breathing, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking, working, acting, whatever I am doing, it's all because that substratum of supreme consciousness called Brahman. So Brahman exists as that very ability. That is what Kenopanishad Rishi says. Eye of the eye, ear of the ear, mind of the mind, it is said. We have the eye, but something else sees through the eye. You will say, my mind sees through the eye. But something else is seeing the mind also. So for those who are new, there is one simple scripture called Drigadrishya Viveka by Swami Vidyaranya Swami. Vidyaranya Swami was also disciple of Adi Shankara, the first disciple whom he placed in Sringeri to start the matam down there. No, he was much later, but from the Sringeri Parampara he is coming. So Vidyaranya Swami ji written this Drigadrishya Viveka, and he says very simple. Whatever is seen, there has to be a seer for it. If I can see you, I am the seer, you are the seen. That is the concept, Driga, Drishya. Drishya is seen, Driga is the one who is seeing is. So he says, Rupam, Drishyam, Lochanam, Drig. All that which is seen, Rupa means all the forms are seen. Who is seeing it? Lochanam, the eyes are seeing it. Then, Drig evatu manasaha, when this eyes become the seen, the mind becomes the seer. Because even if I close my eyes, I can still see you all in my mind. I can still imagine shapes, forms, names, things like that. I can feel it in my mind. So my mind is seeing through the eyes. So you go one step behind. Eyes are there, eyes are seeing everything, but behind the eyes is this mind which sees everything. What is mind? That faculty which is thinking, which is deciding, which is analyzing. So it is called Antakarna. It has many 4 aspects. You can read Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara and Manas. All that you can read. But there is a mind, we all say that I have a mind which sees through all the things. But even if I for a moment stop and see, is there anybody who is seeing this mind? Is there anybody aware of the presence of mind? You will say mind is aware of the presence of the mind. No. Beyond the mind there is something that is aware that you have a mind. And that mind is thinking right now or listening right now through your ears. That is seeing right now through your eyes. So you go one step behind. So very beautifully in one shloka I say, Rupam Drishyam Lochanam Drig, Tad Drig Eva Drishyam, Tad Drishyam Driktu Manasam. When that becomes the Drishya, Manasa becomes Manasa Dhivrittasya Sakshi, Drig Eva Natu Drishyate. He says, when mind becomes the seen, there is that which sees all that is happening inside the mind. I am right now feeling hungry. I am right now wanting to understand what Swami is saying. Right now I am thinking about tomorrow's function. And some of you, I don't know when this is going to end and when are we going to go for dinner. Now, you are aware of what your mind is doing at this point in time. Who is aware of that is the question the shloka asks. There is somebody else who is seeing. Seeing means aware of it. Seeing means aware of mind's vagaries. That awareness is something which further has nobody to know it. It is the final stage, it knows everything. Once again, you see objects in front of you. What is seeing that? Eyes are seeing that. But eyes are also seen by somebody, means somebody is aware that eyes are seeing. And you will say mind is aware. Because mind is seeing through the eyes and saying, this is red color, that is green color, this is boy, this is girl, this is light, this is fan. All that mind is analyzing. But mind is analyzing, this idea comes from where? Who is aware that mind is analyzing? Who is aware that mind is right now worried or thinking or doing whatever? There is this consciousness which is aware of this mind. That consciousness is called Prajnanam. That is all is known as Brahman. Prajnanam Brahma, it is said. That consciousness itself is Brahman. So our definition of God is pure supreme consciousness, which sees the mind, then the mind sees the eye sees the objects. But last and the final stage of awareness is the reason why mind is able to analyze, interpret, understand, eyes are able to function, and we are able to see the material world outside, the matter outside us. That is the idea of withdrawal. See, science of spirituality is not external, it is internal. All science is external. You want to break the matter into pieces and find what is what. But ours is withdrawal, uparati. You have to withdraw and go within, layer by layer. Go from object to the eyes, from eyes to the mind, from mind to that consciousness or awareness. That awareness has nobody else to see. Nobody sees that awareness. It is aware of itself. That is the idea of our understanding of Brahman. So it's very beautiful. You have to practice this. I can say it in so many words, but you will not understand. So what Adi Shankaracharya says that, he himself says in the shloka, I am incapable. I am undeserving of all these great knowledge. But mother, you are very compassionate. You will give food even to your undeserving child, even to the notorious child, even to the child who troubles you. When the lunch time comes, however angry the mother may be with the child, will she eat unless the child has eaten? If some mother does that, she is not a mother at all. Why? Because mother cannot eat. She has so much of compassion for the child that if lunch time comes and this fellow has made a mischief and she wants to punish the child, and if she does not feed the child, she will also not eat it. That is the nature of mother. So this mother, Lalita, who is the mother of all, Brahma Kita Janani, she is the mother of the Brahma, she is the mother of the Kita, means insect also. Chima nunchi Brahma Varku, as I say. From the insect and to the Brahma, means the creator of the entire universe. She is the mother of all. How will she eat if her child has not eaten? So the idea is that this mother is so compassionate. What is Adi Shankaracharya's strategy? Forget about your self-effort and realizing divinity and all. Just go fall at the feet of the mother, saying, Amma, please have compassion. I am undeserving, I am incapable. I know I do not even qualify for all these things, but you are very compassionate. You can place your hand on my, not even hand, look at me from the corner of your eyes, and you will be able to redeem me. You will be able to redeem me because your compassion is far, far, far greater than my deservedness. Therefore, I fall at your feet. And she can take us to our supreme truth. That's why we worship Mother. So don't just beg for marks and, have strength and money and wealth. That also she will give. Mother is mother. If you go and fall and ask for all these petty things also, she may give you. But that is not what we should go and ask from her. We should ask her for the highest. When Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was there, today we discussed about Kolkata, and Sri Vivekananda was there. That time he was not Vivekananda, Narendranath Datta. He had finished his whatever studies and come back. His father passed away. The family was in trouble. There was no money. They were very poor. It was really, really bad situation. At that point in time, the poverty was such that he did not have a job and he had to take up a job. But Ramakrishna wanted him to develop devotion to the mother's feet and attain the highest. Whereas Swami Vivekananda, driven by the circumstances, wanted to ask for petty things. So he tells, Swami Vivekananda comes to, that time Narendranath comes to Ramakrishna and says, my mother is not eaten, we don't have food at home, we don't have anything. Ask your mother to bless me with all these things. Ramakrishna says, why should I ask? She is your mother also, you go and ask. He sends Vivekananda inside the Garbhagudi. And Vivekananda goes with firm resolve that today I will ask my mother, this mother goddess, to solve all my problems. What are problems? Financial problems, health problems, wealth problems, all kinds of problems. Property litigations, job promotions, child's marriage, all kinds of things. And he goes inside. And what does he end up saying? Amake bhakti dao, gyan dao, vairagya dao. Means give me bhakti, devotion, jnana, wisdom, and vairagya, detachment. He goes inside, he loses himself in the devotion and asks for these things and comes out. And Ramakrishna teases him saying, so you finished asking for money, all that. He says, oh, I went inside and I forgot about it. Let me go again. Sometimes our devotees also come with a slip to me. Because the moment they see me, they forget all their problems. And then they go out of interview room and then they, we should have asked all these things. But he, But I also have a trick up my sleeve. When I don't want to give anything that they're asking, I distract them like a mother into other things. And then they go back without asking, and I'm freed. Likewise, he goes again and asks the mother. Again, the same words come out. I want bhakti, jnana, vairagya. I don't want anything else from you. Then Sri Ramakrishna blesses him that let his faith in this remain steady. And he has the experience of this oneness, which is only by the grace of Mother Goddess. And that puts him on this path. And today he became the reason for so many people to join this path. He inspired so many more. Like Adi Shankara, who inspired in his time so many more people to walk this path. He had only 4 disciples whom he placed in 4 corners of the country. With that he has built up this whole Advaita. And today Adi Shankaracharya, in my opinion, is the reason why we are all sitting and discussing something like Brahma Vidya or Paravidya or about such concepts of Sanatana Dharma. It is to Adi Shankaracharya's credit. We have an idol of Adi Shankaracharya which has been installed as inspiration for all our students and devotees. It's right next to the Veda Pathshala. It is beautiful and in Chinmudra. You should go there and offer your prayers. More than offer prayers, yesterday we learnt yajnas are about offering our gratitude. So go to Adi Shankara and offer a gratitude. What is the gratitude you can offer to Adi Shankara? Oh Adi Shankara, you took efforts to write commentaries on these scriptures. I will make efforts to read them at least. That is the gratitude you should offer to begin with. You see? Very, very important. And this Adi Shankara statue was also installed by Jagat Guru from Sringeri Sharada Peetham, which is the oldest Shankara Peetham in the country with an unbroken parampara of over 1200 years. Not even one day the Peetham was shut down or puja was not performed or the Guru was not in place. Not even for 1 year, despite all the invasions, attacks, all the changes in the last 1200 years. That is the only Peetham in the country where a Guru was always there, where the pujas were always happening, where learning and teaching was always happening, despite all the other things that have happened. That is why I was so fond of that Peetham. I went and requested the Jagat Guru to please come and install the Adi Shankara statue here. And generally they do not go to any place other than the places of worship, which are traditional places, or their Peethams. First time, I do not know in 1200 years or not, but at least in the recent history, first time a Jagat Guru of Shankara Peetham, Adi Shankara's Sringeri Matham has come to a new place which is not under their Adinam or Peetham, which is not a traditional Devasthanam as per the whatever our Agamas. It is a new social service organization where we started a Veda Pathshala and the Jagat Guru came. I think he took this extra effort to show appreciation for what we were trying to do, and he was the one who installed the Adi Shankara statue. Jagat Guru Sri Vidushekhara Bharati Swamiji had come, and you also should go and see that statue and sit down a moment. That's called Shankaravanam. Sit down there and meditate on what Sri Shankaracharya is saying. He says, Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. I am also divine, but with all my follies and faults and shortcomings, how am I divine? At least I will try to believe I am divine, but this next fellow, impossible. With his kind of things, not in this lifetime. We do not accept others' divinity. Adi Shankara says everything is divine. Our Upanishads say, our Vedas say, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. Everything is Brahman. Ant, insect, good, bad, ugly, beautiful, everything is Brahman. Why? Because the substratum, the underlying principle of consciousness permeates everything. That consciousness is Brahman. Using that, he is saying everything is Brahman. Like using the idea of gold, I am saying everything is gold. While others say it is bangle, it is ring, it is chain. Using the idea of electricity, I am saying everything is electricity. You may say that is bulb, this is fan, this is mic. Using the idea of space, I will say everything is space. You will say this is Premamritam Hall, that is ground, that is hospital. So Adi Shankara's vision of Advaita is that deeper vision of oneness of everything. You can also practice when you go back to your hostels. See things, then close your eyes and see, my eyes were seeing that. Now who sees this eye? My mind is seeing this eye. Now who sees this mind? There is something in me which is aware of this mind. That sthiti is called Brahma sthiti. So it's not actually so difficult. Brahma Jnana or Brahma Vidya, so to say, is very, very difficult to achieve. But also it is the easiest thing to achieve because you are that, you are made of that. Suppose you have to go and get something from which is available only in America. You will have to make efforts to go to America and get it. But what is already you, what is in you, above you, around you, below you, why do you have to go anywhere to get it? You only have to turn your vision into the right direction and put some efforts. Efforts is of purification. What is purification? Your mind should be pure. What he said, Shuddha Manas, Pavitra Manas is required. Any sankalpa will be fulfilled here. You ask for Brahma Jnana, you will get Brahma Jnana, provided you purify your mind first. Then you will say, then I'll ask for purification of mind, provided you do service all the time first. Then you will ask, okay, then I should do service all the time. Very well, do. That's why you're here. Karmani chitti shuddhartam ekagryaartham upasana Brahma vidyartham. This all, what is our Vedic students will tell. Karmani chitti shuddhartam ekagryaartham upasana mokshartham brahma vidyayam iti vedanta dindimaha. That is true. That is a karmani you have to do. All the actions you have to perform to purify your mind. Then upasana, bhakti marga, what he mentioned. Bhakti comes to God only with a purified mind. When bhakti comes, only you can learn Brahma Vidya. And only with Brahma Vidya you can attain the highest, whatever moksha is saying. So you have to go through this process. That is why I emphasize on seva. Do everything as Sarva karma bhagvat prityartham. Do everything for the love of God. That kind of seva will take you to Brahma Vidya. Definitely it's your fundamental birthright to attain Brahma Jnana. Nobody can deny it to you. You only can deny yourself by not putting efforts and by not purifying yourself. Nobody can stop you from attaining that. And if you put little effort also, mother will come running to bless you with Brahma Vidya because she wants you to know and be redeemed. She gives you refuge. She is the refuge for the whole world. If you take refuge in her and ask her for some grace, some compassion that you have started walking on this path, please bless that you do not deviate and reach the goal. She will bless. I have my personal experience, I can tell with authority. It's very easy to get boons out of mother. Difficult to get it from this Shiva father. Mother is very, very easy. Very easy. Only you have to be sincere in your approach. Shraddha Suktam they chanted, no? Shraddha van lavate jnanam. Shraddha should be there. What is the Shraddha? Complete Shastasya, Guru Vakyasya, Satya Buddhyavadharanam. In Shastras, what we have heard just now, Soundarya Lahari, the Shastra. Guru Vakyasya, when your Guru is telling, which I told after that so long. Satya Buddhya Avadharanam. Believe in it. Even if you don't understand, believe. Why? Shastras are telling, Guru is telling, I will believe in it. Once you start believing, you will start experiencing things. So believe that God exists. Believe He exists in everything, in everyone. Believe that God is the supreme consciousness in this form of Nirguna, it exists. And then you will slowly start experiencing that. So in our spiritual journey, first comes faith, then comes proof. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So it's the other way, it's a reverse process. And that is why spirituality sounds a little difficult, because we who are driven by mind and senses always look for outer proofs. We are trained scientifically like that. But spirituality is the reverse process, just the other way around. Therefore, please pay attention to whatever you are hearing over here and slowly make efforts. Small efforts are also okay. Little efforts every day you make to purify your mind. What it means? Not having selfish thoughts, not having negative thoughts, not having worldly thoughts, purifying it spiritual and good thoughts. That itself will take you to Brahma Jnana. That is the idea. Anyway, today I have already spoken much. I will see you tomorrow morning and I will answer a few questions for that. I think I would have answered a few in this talk. Some of the questions I'll answer tomorrow as well. Okay? Many blessings to Keshav Prasad for taking time and efforts to explain. And I told him to do an elaborate session, verse by verse, with the singing of the verse, explanation, and then interpretation another time when we have more time. Today's introduction to this work. I'm very happy.